in the NBA for January 9th. First up from the Detroit Pistons, I'm taking Jalen Duren over his 10 rebounds, a line that he's hit in his last 3 out of 5 games, 11 and 12 rebounds in his last two versus the Golden State Warriors, who allow the third most rebounds to centers. Last game, he only played 22 minutes in a blowout and still had 9 rebounds. He's hit this line in his last 8 out of 10 and in his last 15 out of 20 when he plays just 27 minutes. So if he would have played 5 more minutes, hella high chances for him to knock that out. All right. Next, he just popped up questionable, so he may not play. I'll give the play to you regardless. Tim Hardaway Jr. from the Detroit Pistons, under 1 steal, plus 100 odds over at Bet365. Tim Hardaway, no steals in his last 3 games, no steals in his last 8 out of 10 games, no steals in his last 7 games versus the Golden State Warriors. Next, I played those both for 1 unit, playing this for a half a unit. Quentin Grimes of the Dallas Mavericks over his 5 rebounds, minus 115 odds over on Bet365. Quentin Grimes clearing this line in his last 8 out of 10 games. Grimes 5 and 6 rebounds in his last 2 out of 3 games versus the Portland Trailblazers, who allow the 7th most rebounds to shooting guards. Next, Quentin Grimes for another half a unit of the Dallas Mavericks over 15 points, minus 115 odds over at Bet365. 17, 26, and 23 points in his last 3 out of 4 games. 17, 28, and 15 points in his last 3 out of 4 games versus the Portland Trailblazers, who allow the 5th most points to shooting guards. Next, from the Portland Trailblazers, Deni Avdija over his 16 points, minus 112 odds over on FanDuel. He's hit this line in his last 10 out of 12 games, hotter than fish grease right now. 21, 19, and 21 points in his last 3 games versus Dallas. Heavy lean on Trae Young over his 24 points. That's something I heard from my dog Dream over on the Blunt Money Bets YouTube channel. I probably will be telling that. Next, for 2 units, I saw this line last night and I was like, this is a broken line. Sure enough, it was. It is went up 1. Walker Kessler, Texas Ranger, over 11 rebounds, minus 125 odds over on Bet365. He's hit this line in his last 6 out of 8 games, had 16 rebounds the last game versus Miami. Miami, who allows the 6th most rebounds to the center position. Then I found these little 2 gems and I played these both for 5 units apiece. Goga Bitadze over his 3 assists, minus 130 odds over on DraftKings. He's had 4 assists or more in his last 5 games, and I believe he's clearing this line in his last 8 out of 10. And then also from the Orlando Magic, Wendell Carter Jr., just 1 3-pointer made, minus 130 over on DraftKings. 1 and 3 3-pointer made in his last 2 games on 3 and 3 3-pointers attempted. 2 3-pointers made in each of his last 3 games versus the Minnesota Timberwolves on 3, 4, and 6 3-pointers attempted. So, to review, today I will be taking Jalen Duren over his 10 rebounds for 1 unit. Tim Hardaway Jr. under his 1 steal for 1 unit. Quentin Grimes over his 5 rebounds and over his 15 points for a half of unit each. Deni Avdija over his 16 points for another unit. 2 units on Walker Kessler over his 11 rebounds, and a half a unit each on Goga Bitadze over his 3 assists, as well as Wendell Carter Jr. over his 1 3-pointer made. Heavy lean on Trae Young over his 24 points. He should also get his 4 threes as well. But once again, that's not my play. I got that from my dog Dream over at Blunt Money Bets. Like, comment, and subscribe for your daily sports betting videos and analysis. Let's keep burning them as always. I will see you tomorrow. If you want all my plays as soon as I take them for just 16 cents a day, $5 a month, subscribe to the Patreon. I will link that down below. Love, peace, and fish grease. Let's continue to run up some units. Follow me on Twitter at F451. Try to throw some parlays out to y'all.